that aims to renew, transform, and inspire.
Join us every Saturday afternoon on our socials, that is ACK Diocese of Maseno North Facebook and YouTube channel, as we delve into real-time issues that affects our being.
Tupatane. Karibuni sana.
Voice of change. Renew, transform, inspire. Tupatane! Yay! There are many voices in the world. Some are voices of confusion, voices of doubt, and voices of fear.
But the Word of God says, do not be conformed to the patterns of the world, but be a light that shines bright and a salt that adds value. ACK Diocese of Maseno North presents the voice of change that aims to renew, transform, and inspire.
Join us every Saturday afternoon on our socials, that is ACK Diocese of Maseno North Facebook and YouTube channel, as we delve into real-time issues that affects our being.
Tupatane. Karibuni sana.
Voice of change. Renew, transform, inspire. Tupatane! Yay! There are many voices in the world. Some are voices of confusion, voices of doubt, and voices of fear.
But the Word of God says, do not be conformed to the patterns of the world, but be a light that shines bright and a salt that adds value. ACK Diocese of Maseno North presents the voice of change that aims to renew, transform, and inspire.
Join us every Saturday afternoon on our socials, that is ACK Diocese of Maseno North Facebook and YouTube channel, as we delve into real-time issues. Good evening, our esteemed viewer. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on when you will come across this video. Praise God. Welcome to the Voice of Change. I am Samuel Munai, and we began this streaming earlier, but nature is a natural thing. Mother Nature decided to do her thing. But here we are again, never to give up. And in life, you should never give up. Anything happens for good for those that love Christ. Amen. Thank you so much for joining us on this premiere show of the Voice of Change. And today I have very special guest in studio. I have very special guest in studio. That is Reverend Tobias Okoth and of course Celestine. They are here to help us delve into a very sensitive topic, the topic of depression, fear, and anxiety. And remember, you can catch us on Facebook and YouTube. That is ACK Diocese of Maseno North. Ladies and gentlemen, what a pleasure to be with you in the studio today and just to discuss this sensitive topic, fear, anxiety, and depression. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let me start with Reverend. A small introduction about yourself. There are things I would love to say, but I cannot say. So please introduce yourself and tell our viewer who you are.
Thank you. Greetings all to all our viewers, wherever you are watching us from. My name is Reverend Tobias Okoth from ACK Christchurch Cathedral, Kakamega, that is Diocese of Maseno North. I serve at the cathedral there as a curate and also passionate with issues that affect the young people, especially issues to do with what we want to handle to this time, depression, anxiety, and other things. And so I'm glad to have this conversation, and thank you so much for having us, Brother Samuel.
Thank you too for coming through. Celestine, for the one that is watching you for the first time, who is Celestine?
Hi everyone, I'm Celestine. I'm a student at Maseno University. I am also a member of Christ Church Cathedral and a representative of the youth department in the church.
And just a small statistics, the Bible, I was doing a small research and I found out the Bible records fear not 300 times, and a year has about 365 days. So it means if we do averagely every day you are told to fear not. But does it make sense to be told fear not, Reverend?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense, and for Bible to be able to depict those words, that fear not, or any other thing that could be happening in our lives, it has a purpose. And to me, I think the reason why the scripture talks about or urges us to fear not is because in our daily life we are faced with issues that sometimes tries to bring us down, and they try to deter us from the vision that we are aiming at. And if you look at the daily life, we see people giving up in their lives, people, getting into issues, people killing each other, young people not achieving their dreams. And this is very, very evident because the aspect of fear is very, very clear. So I think the scripture has a great role to talk about or mention fear in those many times as it does.
Celestine, what do you understand by the word fear?
Fear can represent itself. It's more than just an emotion. It's a part of your mentality. It builds such a huge part of our thinking, because when there is fear, there is an inability to progress forward. When there is fear, there is anxiety that lies deep within. There is apprehension and there is worry about things that are yet to come, or things that we expect, or things that we are planning to happen in the future. And one thing I've learned, especially from fear and just dealing with it, a friend of mine taught me that whenever there is a fear, when I'm encountering something new, or when I'm planning to do something that I've never done before, and I've always known fear to be part of my life. So instead of trying to navigate away from it, but to use it as an advantage. So her advice basically was, whenever you are going into something new, think of all the bad things that can happen. Think of all the bad ways that this can go wrong, all of the ways that this is going to go wrong, and then look for solutions to all those things that you have figured out, because that is going to narrow your dimension of fear. And also, when problems do arise, you're going to have a way to face them, because you've already pre-thought and you've preconceived everything before it has occurred. And also, just to add on that, even as human beings, just statistics shows that half of the things we fear are going to happen or are not going to happen, probably won't occur the way we're thinking about them. So you'll be worrying about something, and then at the end of the day, something that wasn't even in the cards for you.
Maybe Rev Celestine has raised a point here that you can turn fear into an advantage. Maybe is that a safe point to be at, turning fear into an advantage, and how can you do that?
Yeah, it is indeed the positive way of looking onto it, because you realize that fear many a times will make us not to get to our goals. It will make us not to do that which we intend to do, or probably make us to miss opportunities that we ought to have got because of the chances that we had, but because we focus so much on fear that creeps in, then of course we get to miss those opportunities and those advantages that we ought to make. So I'll say that it's the right way to look at it. That probably, let me see, I look at a time when probably to me, I wanted to join my postgraduate studies when I wanted to start that. But I was looking at finances were not there. But I had a friend of mine also to encourage me that you need to just go present yourself. Go tell the the finance officer in school that this is me. I want to study, and he's a human being. Perhaps God will speak in a unique way, and you'll be able to get into class and continue to study. And that is what I did. That is exactly what I did. And I found myself now, of course, in the process of completing what I started. So what we are saying is that we need to look at that. How can I turn these fears to be my strength, so that I may be able to get that which I intend to get in my life.
And statistics say that 1 in every 4 Kenyan is going through either fear, anxiety, or depression. And those are just numbers that have come out to seek help, that indeed I'm going through something and it's causing me to panic, it's causing me to be afraid, it's causing me to be depressed. We must agree that not everyone of us seek medical help when we go through certain emotions, certain situation. Why are numbers so? And the numbers also say many young people are not coming out to confess that I am depressed, I'm facing anxiety attacks, I'm fearful, I'm afraid of something. Maybe Celestine, why is it so hard for young people to come out and say that indeed I'm depressed?
On the same, just still expounding on fear and why people, young people especially, do not want to come out and speak on it. I think Kenya as a nation, we are a very spiritual nation. We are a nation that is so, we are prayerful. We have people who are so, our lives, our day-to-day activities, we are so embedded in prayer. We have prayer in each and every aspect of our lives. So growing up in a certain community where everything seems to be okay, and then you start to have issues with your mental health. And as Kenyans, we believe that vitu vya nyumba havifai kutolewa viende nje. So when you're dealing with something and you start to think of it as something that is not only affecting you, but affecting your family at large also. So how is this going to come out and reflect on your family and not just on the individual? I think also we tend to make things bigger in our minds than they actually are. You overthink and just continue to build on the situation, and then it gains so much magnitude and it becomes overwhelming. So when you begin to speak about it, you feel like no one is going to understand it from the perspective that you're dealing with it already. You've already gone through so much, and the worst thing someone can do is trivialize that pain or trivialize that experience. Yeah, make it seem like something so small, because that is what most of our traditional parents do. Sometimes you'll be going through something unaambia wewe ni njaa tu inakusumbua, so ama like unafulale tu kiasi, then you'll be okay. But like it's sometimes it's much bigger than that. Yeah. Yeah. And then also the issue of finances, because I don't think most of our families, speaking on my family in particular, believe in speaking to therapists or going to counseling to deal with something. Look for one of your friends, talk about it, and then it's going to be okay. So just dealing with things, parents don't want to involve finances in things that involve mental health, because they have trivialized that, and we tend to think of health more in the physical dimension. We think as long as you look like you're okay, you're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe just to add something.
Before you add, I was to bring it now the church aspect.
Okay.
Maybe how can the church help to reduce stigmatization. You know, she's talking about trivialization, stigmatization. Maybe what's the role of the church in curbing and in giving people a safe space to come and express their emotion, express themselves?
I think the church has a bigger role to play in ensuring that the issues of stigmatization and people become free in sharing the issues that they could be having and they could be dying inside. And one of the ways in which probably, and that's what we are doing in Christchurch Cathedral, Kakamega, is that we are creating platform among the young people where we can come and share issues that probably affect us at our personal level. But also the issues of stigmatization have come because probably there is no safe space. Maybe I have an issue that I am struggling with and it's really weighing me down. But my fear is that if I share with my brother or my sister here, maybe I'll get that news outside. So it's also again the call not only to open spaces where people could share, but now spaces that are safe, where people can find solace, they can find rest, and they can find hope in whatever solution that we are giving. And also going beyond that, it's actually a high time that the church also needs to go beyond, just making a lot of theory and having talking about heaven. Can we also go further and also talk about the real issues that affect
practical issues?
Practical issues. If this is fear that is weighing the young people down, can we have real talks about it? Can the leaders of the church also take a moment, take time and have time with the young people and share these practical issues that could be affecting them, and have case studies, okay? People to share, this is my situation, this is what I did, and this is how I was able to overcome. And I think slowly this will be able to bring a revolution. And I believe that with this we are going to save more souls outside there.
Celestine, have you ever faced these things, fear, anxiety, and depression, and how did you deal with them?
I think at a particular age, there is a point where things begin to get overwhelming for anyone. And it's important for us to first acknowledge that these mental issues, especially anxiety and depression, it's not just a youth issue or an adult issue. Kids also go through these kinds of things. So
issue.
From a young age, you can be dealing with something. And I think in we are tri beings, in that we have a soul and living inside a body, and we have spirits also. So when the soul is injured, and especially at a young age, and we grow with that, you become an adult and you have this pain that was from the past, and you're still harboring it, and you've not dealt with it, you've not faced it, you've not talked about it, you've not gone through any steps to just get out of that. And then when you're grown, it now becomes a real issue, because now it's more than just a mental issue, it's also spiritual, in that you've carried it through your life, and the spiritual aspect of it has now come to manifest, because the Bible also says that we did not receive a spirit of fear. So it is a spirit that is living within you, and now facing it is not something you start to deal with it from not just the physical, but you also have to address the spirituality behind the whole thing. So I think my experience with the depression, I dealt with it for quite some time, and there was a point where it became something that it became too overwhelming, and you start to look at your options, and you're like, I don't want to face it, not today, not tomorrow. So if I'm not going to face it, then you start getting suicidal. I got to a point where I was thinking, maybe I'm just done with my role in this earth, and now what is left is pain. So the only way to get out of that is to look for solutions that bring an end to life. just like finish it completely. So in my experience with dealing with depression, dealing with the fear, because I think fear is something that most of us experience on a day-to-day basis. There's always something that you're scared is going to happen or not going to happen, and anxiety comes in different forms. There is like mild levels of anxiety where it's like it's easier to deal with, and then there are levels where it becomes more like panic attacks, and it becomes worry, and it's like it's a weight on your chest, and it's a weight on your life, and you're just carrying it around. And the thing with mental health is like no one can see that you're hurting, especially if you're someone who knows how to conceal it so well. No one can see that you're dealing with something, or you're just you wake up, you just feed normal, you do everything normally, and then no one knows at the end of the day that you're hurting. So it ends to suicide, and then people don't understand why this person committed suicide. Why did she have to take? And then they'll be writing long eulogies, but at the end of the day, no one knows what the real issue is because no one asked. So I think it's important to just ask these questions. Ask people if they're okay. Ask people if they need help. Just it goes a long way to just ask someone, and to mean that hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
And just to want an answer. Sometimes we ask, but like we don't want to hear the answer. We're just waiting for the I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does it end at I'm okay? Let me say I'm your friend and Celestine, how are you? I'm okay. Does the conversation end there?
I think it begins at how are you. I think it begins by also there has to be relationship for someone to be able to open up about certain issues, because you won't just talk to anyone about things that are sometimes it's something that is embarrassing. Sometimes it's something that someone had already warned you about. Ukienda pale utaanguka, ukaenda na ukaanguka, so inakuwa embarrassing because ukienda kumexplain nilikuambia, did I not tell you?
Yeah.
So it becomes embarrassing, and you don't want it to spread out to everyone else. So there has to be relationship and a foundation for you to be able to just speak about these issues. And like Rev was saying, that there has to be a safe space, there has to be confidentiality, and there has to be respect to the level where what we speak about remains between us. And I'm also I think also asking for help. We need to approach people who can actually help us, because people are dealing with things, people are carrying so much. There's a lot on everyone's plate. You carry a lot, I'm also dealing with a lot. You're carrying a lot, you just deal with your lot. Everyone is just carrying their lot around, so you just carry your lot. So in understanding that everyone is dealing with something, but also you don't have to do it alone. I think the safest place we can go is to God, because He's always present, and it's the safest space. Just telling God and just being open. You can cry before God, and you won't feel like you're being a nuisance. You can always go back to God. It's the safest space.
All right.
Yeah.
So yours was to go to God. Did you talk to anybody? Maybe your mom, your dad, your parents, your friend?
I think I don't have the right way of dealing with. I didn't deal with it right until after I came out of it and I started to look back. You see, we say that life is lived in like while going ahead, but like you understand it in reverse. So looking back at the way I handled some situations, I understand right now that I can direct someone else on the right way, because I stayed with it. I just let it simmer in, and I didn't talk to anyone because I was thinking my situation was something embarrassing, because I had been warned, and then I just went ahead and nikaa kutaka kujionea. Unataka tu kujionea pia utafute testimony yako uone venye kunaenda. So inakuwa ngumu. It becomes hard to now go back to the same person who warned you, especially because yendo alikuwa na hiyo solution. They are the people who had the solution to my problem, and they are the same people who had warned me about it. So you now come crawling back, and I'm just glad they took it with so much grace and they were able to help me. But looking back on the decisions I made, I should have been kinder with myself. One thing I'm learning is you need to speak to yourself the way you'd speak to your friend. we're usually so hard on ourselves. You're like, you're so stupid, you shouldn't have done that. That is so embarrassing. Like, you'll be beating yourself up about something, but think about it, when you run it back in your head, you can't talk to your friend the same way you talk to yourself when you're going through something. You're kinder with your friends, you're nicer with them. So extend the same courtesy to yourself. Be patient with yourself, be kind with yourself, forgive yourself for the decisions you have made, and just start from the point where you realize that this is not your way. Just turn back immediately. You realize you're going the wrong way. Don't get off at the next station. Don't wait to go to the end of the road and then to come back.
To the end of your journey. Maybe Rev, she has talked something about going back and getting that feedback. Tulikuambia. Naona sasa. Maybe how can the church help us to deal with such situation? Unaona, for example, our parents, when we go astray, they will tell you, nilikwambia, usifunzwa na mama, ulifunzwa na, sasa ukishafunzwa na ulimwengu, how can your parent take you back?
I think it could be really unfortunate that probably such statement could be said to someone who probably has fallen down or probably is undergoing consequences that are negative in their lives. Because probably I want to ask myself if somebody maybe made a mistake and maybe they did something that was almost taking out their lives, and someone makes such a statement. I think that will be not the right way to go about it. But I will always say that every time, if we continue to employ wrong methods in life, then we'll always get wrong solutions. We'll always get the wrong outcomes. So if I think, just to build on what I was saying earlier about being safe spaces, I think parents and everybody needs to understand. We need to understand, I need to understand that I have a role to play in the life of my neighbor or the lives of the people who surround me. So it's about knowing what are the kind of words that I utter to other people, because words can completely build and they can also completely destroy. So what kind of words do I utter to such people? And I think that's the role of the church, because the scripture encourages us and reminds us that the tongue is very, very powerful. It is small, but it can actually burn,
cause havoc.
It can cause great havoc. Yeah. So we need to be also very careful on the words that we say, because they can completely finish people in what they're doing. But also I want to encourage us, we who are outside there, our viewers and all of us, that we need to be fully aware with the companies that we are working with. I look at the life of Jesus Christ, and Jesus lived a palatable life that everybody could emulate. Jesus did not do things by himself. He had a company, people whom we could share his issues with. So we are also called to have people whom we trust, people whom we can share our issues with, and people who will always encourage us not to do the wrong things, but to do the right things. People will always correct us when we are going astray. So I'll just say that it's a mandate and a call for each and everyone to look at how are they impacting other people positively.
As you are talking there, I remember the story of the prodigal son. When he went back to his father, the father did not tell him, nilikupatia mali ukaenda ukacheza naye. Yes. He welcomed him back and he gave him a hug and a shoulder to lean on. Isn't that how our guardians should behave when we go back to them?
Yeah, the story of the prodigal son is an interesting story of telling us, of course, it's showing, it's about the love of Christ for us, but it is also what we human beings need to have, accepting people, how much they have gone away. Of course, the love of Christ goes beyond, but we are called to emulate that love, to care for the people, because mistakes are there, people make mistakes, and as a society and as a community, we do not need to dwell so much on the challenges of the wrong things that people have done. Because when we do that, we make people to die in depression, people to die in fear, and we lose a soul. We find that someone has committed suicide, and we realize that we lose a life that could have, impacted the society in a positive way. So what I'm saying is that from that story, and of course there are great biblical stories that are encouraging us to always receive people back with love, people with care, and always be there to heal the wounds of people who are probably broken.
There is also another statistic that says that women are able to open up to their fellows than men, and that's why they handle issues of fear, anxiety, and depression very easily compared to men. Maybe Celestine, why is it easy for a lady to open up to a fellow lady than men opening up to themselves?
I think that's a really good question. That's a good question because it's true. But like women we are such social creatures. We are like really open with each other. In just my own experience with my friends, we talk about everything from nothing to everything. We talk about each and every aspect of your day, what happened in the morning, what happened in the afternoon. So it's easier to deal with something as soon as it starts showing its head. When they start to see these little signs. Because if you have, okay, an example is me and my best friend. We talk every day, so we're always talking about something, even when there's nothing to talk about. There's always a situation where there's always a time when this is just for us to have a conversation about what happened during your day. So the moment they realize, oh, it's been 2 days and she's not called me, she's not texted me, there's something happening. So it's easier to notice these subtle changes because there's that constant conversation, there's just constant environment where you're free to just share things. And sometimes there is no solution. And then women are, it's easier to just cry with your friends. Because if I have an issue and I approach my friend, I'm like, hey, this and this happened. And then the both of us will just cry about the whole thing. And then when you cry about something, you let go of the anger that it holds and the hold that it has within you, so that you let go of such a large part of the pain that it came with. And just to be able to cry with someone, to be able to talk to someone about something is like solving the problem in half. Like now you're not left with such a huge part to deal with. And like men, I can't speak for men, I can speak for women, and I can speak for myself. I find it easier to just talk about things. Immediately they begin to show up. I'm like, hey, this was stressing me out, and we just deal with it in the moment, and then it's no longer a thing.
Men, and incidentally you and me as men, why is it so hard for us to open up? It's so tough to just open up and tell them, by day I'm going through this and this and this. It's giving me headache, it's making me fearful, it's making me have panic and all those things. Why is it so hard for us to open up?
Yeah, it's a challenge, and I think there's issues of gender masculinity where men are always expected to be strong and not to cry and not to do anything. Probably even if they are hurting, they do not need to say it. So it goes back, way back on the upbringing, how they are, how they are brought up. Probably if you are, things are not right on your end, it will be like, you're a man. You don't need to cry.
You're supposed to cry.
To do all other things. Yeah, so I think
real men don't cry.
Yeah, real men don't cry. But you see, that's a myth.
Real men cry.
It's a myth, and it's leading people and leading men to die. And you see, in our current society, we are losing the boy child also needs to be given attention. I think this has been said in so many forums, but it needs now to be practical. How can we practically also look at the affairs of the men in the society, of the young men in the university, all those in the high school and all other levels of education in our lives and wherever we are in our community, so that the attention should be given unto them to have the idea and the truth that sometimes also fear can creep in, anxiety can be there, depression can be there. And so how do you handle it? Not as a man, but as a human being. How are you able to handle this so that you might not find yourself losing yourself and also, even going to extreme levels of even death.
Mm-hmm. So real men cry. Is that what you are saying?
Mm-hmm. Cry. Yeah.
So if you are a real man, you need to cry.
They need to cry and they need to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not be able to handle something on your own. And I think even as women, we have a role in maintaining the mental health of the men and the boys around us, because when they are in that vulnerable state, when they have, because it's not a one-day thing, it takes time and it's gradually they begin to open up about situations and things that they are fearful of. We not take it as a moment to put them down, but it's a moment to support them and to show them that it's okay to be vulnerable and to just deal with something, so that the next time they have an issue they can address it more easily, because the last time was you were not shunned, you were not treated some type of way. It was really easy the last time, so this time would be even easier if we work together.
Yeah. So it is also a role for women to also give men a safe space.
Yeah.
To, especially if you have a man in your life, you are a wife, you are a sister. And especially about wives. Sometimes some men can go to their wives and tell them, hey, this is what I'm going through. And they're like, why are you even crying? Why are you crying? You're a man, you're not supposed to cry. So I think she's saying we should give men a space and a shoulder to lean on, especially. I think the strongest man is the one who asks for help than the one who piles everything in one basket. So we are getting close to the finishing line of this today's show. But I just want to understand, how do we cope up with these three demons: fear, anxiety, and depression? Celestine, how do we cope up? I'm in that state now. How do I cope up with it?
I think for fear, and I'm just going to speak about how I cope with things. There's something called exposure therapy, and it's when you're scared of something happening, or you're scared of something going wrong, you intentionally do it the wrong way and see if it's something that people are going to react about, see their reaction, so you already know what's going to happen if in case it does go wrong. So it's something that you have encountered before and it's not new. I think it's easier to deal with something when it's not something that is new. It is something that you have probably seen happen before, or like you've dealt with before. And when it comes to anxiety, I like to just focus on the things that the present, to just to be in the moment and to ground myself and to think about the things that are around me and to realize that just to break life into pieces that are easier to handle, because just dealing with something as a whole the way it is can be overwhelming. So when you break it down, and there is no blueprint for breaking it down. It can be a week for someone, it can be a day. I take my days just one day at a time, and if it works for you, you can take 3 hours at a time, 1 hour at a time, or just like the present minute, and not worry about or overthink and hyperfixate on tomorrow. What am I going to eat tomorrow? What am I going to wear tomorrow? What is going to happen tomorrow? Just deal with what you can deal with today, and then deal with what you can deal with tomorrow. Because at the end of the day, we are here for only a short period of time, or one day at a time. And I think the solution to depression is, we've been told that time heals all wounds, but from my own experience, time doesn't heal wounds, because you can have a wound for so long and it might fester, and sometimes it seems like it's not going to heal. God heals our wounds. God is the only healer. Like, time may be a factor in it, but you need to go to God with these wounds, with all this breakage, and just surrender everything to Him, and not just surrender and still holding on to some part. Unajua sometimes tunapeana shida, but like una surrender, but uko like unaweza ifanya hivi, mimi nilikuwa naona hivi. No, you surrender, but like you step away, and you're like, this is no longer my problem, this is no longer my issue, and just knowing that God is seated and He is present and He is aware and He loves you and He just wants to take charge of something that you cannot deal with is it helps keep me grounded. It helps keep me focused on what I can deal with, and just like let go of all of these things that can be difficult to handle sometimes, and asking for help. I think it's really hard, because sometimes we feel like we can handle something if just given time or given something, a resource, or like mi shida yangu maybe inaweza kuwa pesa, maybe ni shida, like you try to label or paint this thing as something that it is not, but accept what it is. I'm depressed, I'm dealing with anxiety, and if you need medication, seek medication. If you need a therapist or counseling, seek counseling. It's okay to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness. I think when you have fear, or when you have depression, or when you have anxiety, it's just a sign that you cannot deal with everything on your own. It's a show of our human weakness, that we, at the end of the day, we actually do need God. We actually do need each other to get through some things.
You said something, and I just want to take you back to it, that we should break whatever we are dealing with in portions. Like, this is someone, they don't have school fees, they have not eaten, they don't expect any meal in the near future. How do they now break into small portions? And maybe they're also dealing with relationship issues. They are also, it keeps on piling. Others are out of school, they have graduated, but there's no work, there is no job, there is nothing that is coming their way. And they have papers, they have everything. How do they break down into small portion for them to deal with those issues?
I think we can break them down in order of what we consider important. Because a relationship might be important to me, but it's not important to you. So you need to figure out what is a priority right now. Is eating a priority? Is being in this relationship a priority? Is going to school a priority? And just setting aside the things that I think it's easy to make a list. Okay, I can fix this, and I can't fix this. So you begin, I think that is how you would break, I can fix this, and you begin to fix what it is that you can deal with. If you can deal with something, if you can get a job to pay your school fees, or you can like apply for bursaries, ask for loans, then you can begin from that point. Or if it's a relationship and it's not working out, you can begin by, hey, I can break up with this guy, or I can, when it comes to food, I can go to this person, or I can do just what can I manage now, and then what it is that I cannot deal with. Maybe I can't deal with it now, but I can deal with it tomorrow. So you set it aside for tomorrow, and if it's something you can't deal with at all, then I've been told that if something is stressing you out and it's not something that you can change, then there is no point in stressing out. At the end of the day, there is nothing you can do about it. So you set it aside, and luckily for us, we have a Father who can do everything. So just lay it before God, and it's important to just have faith and just look forward. Just don't lose your hope. Don't lose your relationship with God.
The Bible says, cast all your burdens unto Him, for He cares.
Yeah, He does.
Reverend, how do we cope with all these demons, anxiety, fear, depression, in a Christian perspective? How do we now handle them as they come? How do we deal with them? How prepared are we to deal with them?
So I think also probably as we bring, see our time is on, maybe as we finish this, I would say that as a Christian, and I think I just want to build on what my sister was going to say, that it's a call for us to know that these are things that are with us, they are things that could be drawing us down, but we need now to, do the right thing. It's about walking with people who are right, and devoting ourselves with worship that is proper, and ensuring that our environment is always infused with Christ. And I believe that as we do this, as time goes by, then we are able to live a life that will be able to overcome all these challenges. It is not something that will happen once. It will take a process for us to be able to manage it. Yeah.
Maybe your closing words, starting from Celestine as we close. It's a broader topic. It's in fact 3 topics in one, so we can't really exhaust it in one sitting. But just in your parting shot.
I think I'd like to encourage all of us. There is more than one meaning to shalom. Shalom can also mean not broken. So in God, there is nothing that is broken. In God, there is nothing that cannot be fixed. Yeah.
Yeah, probably I would say we need to know that these are lived realities. There are things that are there to there are things we'll grapple with. There are things that will always accompany. They're with us. They will still be there. So, but then again, our focus should be that we work towards being the victors in all these issues that we are facing in lives. And of course, we can't discuss everything, but the idea is that we find that these are things that are present in our lives, but we need to handle them in a way that we become people who will be overcomers in our daily living, without getting into places that we now derail ourselves, and now we won't be productive the way we ought to be.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for gracing our discussion today. It's an insightful discussion, especially men opening up, especially all of us opening up. And I can just recall the Bible say, do not be anxious of anything, but in everything give
your prayers application,
make your needs known to God, and His peace, peace that surpasses all understanding, shall be our portion. And most importantly, you're not alone. You're not alone. And as the 2 guests have said, that you can open to someone, you can open up. You don't have to suffer in silence, you don't have to suffer alone. If not your brother, your sister, come to church, look for a pastor, look for a reverend, look for a fellow Christian, and talk to him or her. Tell him how you're feeling. Just talking to him. They say a problem shared is a problem half solved. And maybe you are suffering and your solution is just next door. Let us be social people. Let us be good, loving people. Let us be Christians who are there for one another. And if one shares with you their problem, don't make it a headline. Don't make it a topic, because you'll have shattered their dreams to share even more. Thank you. That has been our time for us today. We just thank you so much for joining our program, The Voice of Change. Remember, The Voice of Change is about renewal, is about transformation, and is about inspiration. We are here to renew your faith in God. We are here to transform your life as a Christian, as a human being, and we are here to inspire you. There are many stories we will share on this platform. There are many topics we will talk about. There are many topics we will discuss. Each and every Saturday we are here for this and many more. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time on ACK Diocese of Maseno North Facebook and YouTube channel. I'm Samuel Munai, and I've had our guests today, Reverend Tobias Okoth, and our beautiful sister Celestine, who has enabled us to understand fear, depression, and anxiety. Until next time, God bless.